Hey, welcome to Clarity Tarot. Today's question is going to be what changed or what's different? And I was thinking about doing this reading because I just was hosting my parents for a week, and sometimes that goes okay and sometimes it doesn't, it's family. But I always get a little nervous before they come because I'm not sure how things will go. And this time was like much easier than ever. And I have some ideas about why that is, but I would want for myself to ask the cards, like, what's different this time? What changed? Why did I get a different result? So this could be for a good or bad reason. But basically we are going to ask the cards, like, why are things different this time? And we have 4 different readings today. This is all from the New York City Tarot deck. First, we have the penny. Second is a quarter. Third is a dime. And the fourth has a dime, a quarter, and a penny. So those are going to be the 4 readings today. Take a moment and tune into which card you think might be for you, and I'll see you at your reading. Hey, Pile 1, let's check out your reading. Thank you so much for being here. If you picked the penny, we are asking what changed, what's different. Page of Pentacles in reverse, what's different? One or both of you, or all of you, if it's a group, aren't trying anymore. So maybe there's a lot of different ways this could go. This could be that you felt very overwhelmed and exhausted in the past because you were trying so hard. It could be that the other person used to be in that energy and now they're not. And so I'm getting like, here's the possible results you might be experiencing. So this will help you know if it's your pile. You might feel like you have more energy if it was you doing the overextending. You may feel like things didn't go as easily or as harmoniously between you, but also there was less energy expended. So it's like, maybe it wasn't as amazing as usual, but it was still fine and you weren't exhausted. So either you or the other person is feeling that. The thing that's coming to mind is I'm looking at this penny, which is like not in the expression, but the expression that's coming to mind is that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So that might mean something to someone. But what I take that to mean is that just a little bit of effort before something is better than a ton of effort while it's going on. An example might be, it's easier to have a positive relationship with someone if you check in, just here and there every few days or few weeks versus seeing someone once a year and then trying to like resurrect a relationship or a connection with that person is an example that comes to mind. Although that's not really like directly what that quote means. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So this could be something like when you anticipate that there's going to be an issue, trying to avoid that before it even becomes a problem. And what would be a good example here? Something like, again, with energy management, if you feel yourself getting run down, taking a rest or not pushing yourself beyond what you can handle when you get that first sign or that first red flag that things are going to be a bit too much for you, actually taking some space and relaxing at that point. So there could be something here too with this relationship with this person where your state of balance really impacts things. So maybe in the past you would force yourself to participate in activities or conversations beyond what you would naturally want to. And I feel like this reading is coming through to say that what changed the result here is you were no longer pushing for things. So if you have a question in your mind about whether this difference is good or bad, what I'm getting from this reading is that it's actually a positive change. So, for example, if you were overperforming in the past to make everything perfect, to make sure everybody's happy and that everyone's connecting, and this time you didn't, so you're less exhausted and things still kind of felt like they went okay, what Spirit wants you to know is that things actually went better than ever because you're including yourself in that situation better than you have in the past. So whereas in the past, maybe you would make other people feel amazing while you were exhausted and worn out and worried, now you're maybe a little bit worried about like how good are things, but you're feeling way better. And so it's like maybe just minusculely less, but good for them, but better for you and still good for the relationship, if it makes sense. This really reminds me of kind of that codependent pattern we can all get into with people pleasing and trying to understand what somebody else needs and like going all out to deliver that. It's almost like what's happening here is that you or the other person is pulling back from that and not doing that, not overdoing that anymore. And it's actually having a positive effect on the relationship because it works for everybody involved, yourself included, better. So now I'm just going to ask what I missed from this reading that Spirit wants to bring through. We have the Strength card. Yeah, I'm really getting like physical vitality with this. There's something, and this could, if this is a work situation, it's like you didn't exhaust yourself, and that's really good. You went slowly. You didn't rush to meet somebody else's expectations or deliver on a promise or on something they wanted from you. Yeah. This really, to me, is giving healing of like the savior complex. Like, you know, it doesn't all depend on me. I don't have to do everything. I can just let things be and participate to a reasonable degree and let the other person do the same. Judgment in reverse. And where this is all coming from, to answer this question even better of like what's changed, you no longer fear judgment. You're not trying to outperform and outlast everybody else as a way to feel okay about yourself, because God forbid you do one wrong thing and then they say, oh, well, she was lazy, or he didn't respond to me in time, or they're such a bad worker or such a bad friend or whatever. You're not taking that on anymore. And so it's having a much better impact on the whole. Okay, pile one, that's your reading. Let me think, do I want to do anything else? Let's just pull one Oracle of the Shapeshifters for you to close the reading. This will be advice for you. I will just read the card and let it stand without interpretation. We have Snow White and her animal friends. Number 9, you inspire trust and confidence. That's beautiful. I love all the little animal friends here. Okay, pile one, thank you so much for coming by. Please leave a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. Share with all your friends if you want to. Book a private reading. I'd love to do private readings, or just keep watching my videos. I'm happy to have you here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Okay, pile two, if you picked the quarter, this is going to be your reading, and we're asking what changed, what's different. Thank you so much for coming by today. I really appreciate you visiting my channel. And for those of you that are subscribers, thank you for being back here. If it's your first time, I'd love, if you like what you see here today, to give a like or subscribe to the channel so that you'll see updates when I post, which right now is 2 or 3 times a week. And also, always welcome to suggest a topic in the comments if there's a particular question you want to see me read on. And what else? Private readings in the description box. Okay, let's get into your reading. So, what's different in this situation? 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Ooh, what's different is someone's feeling needy. They're not feeling as independent as perhaps they did in the past. And the vibe I'm getting with this is not like oh, you lost your independence, but it's an honest recognition of limitations. The first example that's coming to mind is like an aging parent who can no longer maybe do all the things for themselves they used to be able to do, like maintenance around the house, let's say, or their own grocery shopping or something, and really needing to ask for help. But the second example I'm getting is like in a romantic relationship. If somebody in the past was just kind of like playing it cool with you, they're realizing maybe they're more attached than they believed prior. and they have emotional needs that were being supported by this connection that they want back in their lives. So if this person is acting more aware of their needs, maybe even communicating those, or at a minimum just being more receptive to you speaking to those needs, it's because they've realized their vulnerability. And I'm really getting this as a good thing. This is the second pile now in a row that I feel like this is a good change. I don't think it feels good to them because they probably feel dependent or like they can't do things on their own, and that is a little triggering. But it's reality is what I'm hearing. You know, if you're 90 years old, most 90-year-old people can't do everything on their own anymore. That would be a lot. And no person is truly independent and can live completely without any other person. I mean, you physically can, but being like at optimum health level, like we're designed to be in connection with others. So this person is recognizing that, and it's a good thing. Maybe this person is even you in the situation. Maybe you're realizing that you have needs and you want to connect with someone. So whatever the case, though, it's really positive that this is being understood better. So what else for pile 2, please, Spirit? What else is different? We have the Empress in the reverse. And Ace of Wands in the reverse, Page of Swords in the reverse. This person is, whether it's you or someone else, is realizing that they never learned how to nurture themselves emotionally. This could be because their mother was not ideal in this way, or their nurturing figure, whether or not they had a mother. This could be that they, for whatever reason, have blocked that off within themselves and not connected with the part of themselves that needs to be nurtured. Or maybe they have a very strong inner critic and they criticize themselves anytime they don't measure up instead of nurturing and supporting themselves. Or it could be all of those factors. But I think what this person is realizing, I do think, I'm going to say for 99% of the people that this pile applies to, 99% of them have realized that this is a mother wound issue. So some of them are dealing with that in therapy. Some of them are watching tarot readings for support. Some of them are just telling themselves, oh, it's all my mom's fault. This is why I'm like this. But whatever the case, it's clear to them that there's something important they needed in the way of nurture that was missing. And a reason they have seen this is they've noticed a real like dryness in their life. Wow, I'm getting some very graphic examples coming through my mind right now. But let's just, okay, how do I talk about this? So women, the feminine energy, and I'm specifically thinking now of like lovemaking. The female role is to receive, to make possible, to make slippery, let's say, to ease the way and provide some like inspiration and encouragement, basically, which is one embodiment of feminine energy. And I think this person has also noticed that inspiration is a little lacking, like their life is a little dry in all ways. And just interpret that however you want to, pile 2, because it's going to be different for each of you. But in the most general sense, it's like, it's just not there. That spark isn't there. That there isn't the excitement that they would hope for in their life. And they're bringing this back to a lack of nurture within themselves and for themselves. And I think this hyper independence really worked for them for a while. And I'm getting that they shouldn't be hard on themselves. And if this is you, you should not be hard on yourself for being this independent, because it was really important for you for a time to be in that energy. It was very healing in a way for you to realize that you can survive, you can make it on your own. You didn't receive the nurture that you needed, and yet you're still here. You made it. That didn't do you in. However, now you're at the stage where you're realizing okay, I've proven that I can survive, but now I want to thrive. I want things to grow in my life. I want them to be abundant and thriving and beautiful and wonderful. And what's missing here is that feminine energy. I don't just want to watch other people have abundant lives. I want that for myself too. So what's changed in this situation is this person has realized that, and they're showing up differently. They're less controlling. They're more surrendered. They're more focused on what feels juicy to me, what is really drawing me in, and how can I move towards that and have more of it in my life. So if this is you, I'm getting that some of you watching this pile, this is actually your energy that's coming back. And if this is you, first of all, this is not a slight on you. Like, we all have masculine and feminine energy, and some people are easier embodying one or the other. And that's true of all humans, and it's not right or wrong. You know, we all have a father wound, we all have a mother wound, regardless of gender, and we need to heal both the masculine and feminine sides. And so it just so happens that your mother wound is a little bigger, and you're recognizing this now, which is really good, and you're able to direct your, like, point towards the sun. Like, it's making me think of the example of a sunflower, you know, which just ever so slightly, it turns towards the source of its inspiration, the sun. And that's all that's needed for you to heal this, is instead of charging towards an outcome, making things happen for yourself, just notice in your body, in your energy body, in your emotional and mental body, like, what am I drawn to? What excites me? What makes things slippery in my life? What gives me those creative juices that I'm looking for, and go for it. Sorry about that. Pile 2, the camera died there for a second, but as I was saying, what's made the difference for this pile is just noticing what turns you on and going that direction. And that's awesome. I love that for you. To close your reading, we're going to pull a card from these shapeshifters, and I had just drawn it because I didn't realize at first that we stopped recording. And so I'm just going to read this advice and let it stand without interpretation to close your reading, okay? And we have number 11, Alice in a Sea of Tears, cast away out of your depth, feeling abandoned. And for this one, I actually am going to read from the book a little bit. Let's see. So number 11. You've been through a very emotional time and have finally released your need to hold on. You have let go or been let go of, and the emotional aftermath has been overwhelming. You're about to see your sadness can continue to create the rough waters that have thrown you about. And the challenge is to move on with wisdom in place without repeating. You can do it, and being more like the rat with his neat compartmental nature and the crab with her tough outer shell for protection, you will come through this tough time. You're wiser now, less emotionally ready to be hurt, and far more capable of remaining yourself, even walking as you do in a harsh world. If you feel very alone, help is coming and will soon be with you. Although you may be feeling you have made a great mistake, given all this upheaval, in time you will know you've done exactly the right thing. Dry your tears. Help is here. Well done on making such an important change. That was your reading, Pile 2. Thank you so much for coming by today. I really appreciate you being here. Please leave a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you'd like, and if you'd like to see updates and whenever I upload. But either way, I look forward to seeing you at the next reading. Hey, Pile 3, if you picked the dime, you're a dime, and this is going to be your reading. So we are asking, what is different than before? What has created this outcome? Let's see what cards you have. We have, the Towers and Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Very interesting, very interesting. So what has created this change? Letting go, surrender, not swimming upstream, allowing change to happen, allowing control over your life to someone else. And perhaps this has also happened for the other person involved. If you're not resonating that this is you, maybe this person realized that they wanted things to go a very specific way with you, and they could not force that to happen. It was not up to them to be able to make a particular outcome come to pass. And so because of that, they've let go. And I'm not getting a vibe here of like, I'm throwing up my hands and I give up. It's not like this. This is very intentional surrender. This is, I'm very triggered in this situation. I'm afraid, but I'm going to trust that there's a higher power that can help support me and that knows better than I do that what needs to happen in my life, and I can align with that and let things play out. I don't have to be in charge. This is coming through as very positive, a very positive difference. It might be, depending where you are in the situation, it might be confusing for you. Like, why does this person seem not to care? But they actually do care very much. But they also care enough that they want whatever connection between the two of you, they want that to be organic and natural and authentic. And so if that means, so like let's say this person in the past or you was trying really hard to make the relationship work, and now they're just kind of letting things flow. It may seem like not as much is happening because of that, but it's also, when it is flowing, it's because it's legitimately coming up. It's not because this person feels put upon or like they have to, or vice versa. And so it's better for both of you in that way. What else, Spirit? What else is important to know for pile 3 about what's different, what's changed? I'm also getting for some of you, like this tower could represent something that's happened in their lives that's very overwhelming. If so, I'm getting that this person would not want to talk about that with you right now. Perhaps there's something that feels vulnerable about talking about that with you. With the 6 of Cups, maybe it's a relationship problem that they're not comfortable disclosing for some reason. You know, and don't take this personally, pile 3. Well, first of all, it's entirely within any person's right to disclose what's going on with them if and when they want to. And that has to do with both good news and bad news, like I'm pregnant, or I have cancer, I'm getting a divorce, or I found my soulmate, or I found this job that feels like just like me and I'm really nervous and excited about it, or I'm getting fired, you know, whatever. The big moments of life, that information belongs to that person. And I can definitely say, like, I can sometimes, especially with my nearest and dearest, like the 5 closest people to me, I can feel like owed in a way, like owed an explanation or owed their news or whatever. And this person has maybe felt some pressure about that, either with you or just in general in their lives. And they've come to the wisdom of, you know, this belongs to me. I can share it if and when I want to. And what's going on with them is I'm getting with Justice and the 6 of Cups, like possibly contemplating divorce, and this person doesn't even want to admit that to themselves. Maybe for some reason they believe that if they shared this with you, that you would kind of egg them on, and be like, yeah, separate from that person or whatever. Not in a bad way, pile 3, but in a way like you feel very protective of this friend. And this person wants to remain in their own mind. They know that they get very confused if they get advice from the outside when they're not ready. So they're protecting themselves from that. They've also made some very good friends. I'm getting for many of you that this is a friend or a family relationship. someone that you felt very close to in the past, but they've been taking some distance perhaps. And this person has people that they're talking to about this, that for some reason they're more comfortable talking with them. And again, I'm hearing the message like, please do not take this personally. This does not mean that they love those people more than you or they feel more intimacy or trust. It's none of those things. It's simply that like, well, let me put it this way. Here's, to use the divorce example again. Like if you're married to someone and you're very close to that person's parents, you're probably not going to talk to that person's parents about wanting to get a divorce from them, right? Okay, let me give you a few examples of what this could be if it's not divorce, because it doesn't have to be that. It could be any kind of relationship, romantic relationship at any stage that they feel nervous. And this is where you would participate in the reading, because I think for most of you, you know exactly what this is referring to. If it's not romantic, then it's some kind of big deal in their life. So if you think about like this friend of yours and what are the 3 biggest things in their life, maybe one's their job, maybe one's like where they live, maybe another one is like the physical location, like their house or apartment, maybe another one is their pet, maybe it's a material possession, like something that their relative left them that is a piece of jewelry they really love. I don't know. I'm just throwing out examples here. It literally could be anything. Their car, whatever are those things that this person cares the most about that are nearest and dearest to their heart. It's something around that. Something either negative that's happening or negative that they're afraid is going to happen. And this has the sense of inevitability to me. This is like, I'm going to go back to the divorce example because it's the clearest. It's the one that's coming through the clearest to me. This is like a person who wakes up one day and realizes, oh, like, I'm not happy and this isn't going to work. Like this, in order for this to be harmonious, something has to change. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know if it's in me. I don't know if I can do that. What happens now? And this person's just so overwhelmed with that, but they also know, like they've seen the writing on the wall. They know the trajectory. Like if things continue this way, it's not going to be good. And that's what they're avoiding dealing with, because, and they know if they talk to you, like pile 3 is going to tell me that I can't continue this way, that this person's not good for me right now. We're not good for each other and something needs to change and I'm not ready to change. And I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I don't want to feel any of this. So I'm just not going to talk to them because I don't want to feel this. So they're not exactly avoiding you. They're actually avoiding themselves. And their avoidance of you is their own inability to emotionally regulate. Does it make sense? So it's not a rejection of you. I know it feels like that, pile 3. It's actually not a rejection of you. And now I'm hearing in my mind, like, well, I don't care if it's a rejection of me. Like, I have standards too. I have expectations in a relationship. I expect that my friends talk to me. I expect that I find out from my friends, from them, that they're going to get divorced, not from a post on social media or something. And like, okay, if that's you that's saying that, I really hear you, pile 3. I'm actually very much the same way that way. And I've had some challenges in relationships because of that. And that's something important. If you know that boundary, it's something important to communicate with them or to enforce the boundary in some way if it's that important to you. All I'm saying is I'm just explaining to you we're answering the question here, what's different in this relationship? And what's different is this person can't face themselves, and because they can't face themselves, they can't face you. With the dime as part of this reading, and I got this actually when it first came out, I was like, oh, this is funny. Like, it reminds me of that saying of like, you're a dime, like you're a 10, you're amazing, you're everything. Like, this person does not think anything negative about you at all. It's negative things about themselves, and they're just not able to deal with it. So this difference that has happened has nothing to do with you. I would not take it personally. Even if you've had a fight with this person, or even if you feel like you did something negative to them, it's such a drop in the bucket compared to what this person is dealing with. It's really not about you. Pile 3. So please rest easy in that. Okay, and so the other thing I'm getting here with our friend here, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, is with a justice card. Everything is going to turn out the right way, exactly as it should, in the right time. You know, this is actually reminding me of a very dear friend of mine, and they were dating someone that I felt like was just not good enough for them. And honestly, the reason I feel comfortable saying this on my channel, which many of my friends watch, is because that could almost be said of any of my friends. I'm kind of that a-hole friend that's like, that person's not good enough for you. But it just happens to be true a lot of the time, okay? Don't come for me. But anyway, so a good friend of mine was dating somebody, and I was just like, they're just, I think you can do better. I just don't think they treat you the best. I don't think this is your person. And I hate to say that to you because, ew, and I know you're invested in the relationship and there's good things, but I just don't see it, I'm that friend that will say that. And this person at that time was like, no, like, I really think they're right for me. This is it for me. And the only people that know what a relationship is really like are the ones in it. And I said, okay, yeah, you're right. I overstepped. And it's just my point of view, and I just care about you, and I overdo it. I get overprotective, which is also true of me. So that person actually was in that relationship with that person for a while, and eventually it did fall apart, and that person did choose to walk away because they decided that something like wasn't what they wanted, and it was exactly the right timing for that to happen. For so many reasons I won't get into, but it was exactly the right timing. And sometimes we can see things for other people that they can't see for themselves. And even if we were to tell them, that would help. Like, it's something people have to discover for themselves. It's also making me think of the first man I was engaged to in my early 20s. Who I was very in love with, and it was my first time being engaged, and we were starting to have issues, and every single one of my friends was like, oh my goodness, like, this is crazy, what were you thinking? Like, get out of this relationship, and it just took it. Every person has to go through that themselves. So all to say, nothing here is your fault, pile 3. It's this person's process. They know that they can rely on you and trust on you, and they will come around. And your only job is to, when they do come back around, be gracious, be compassionate for them, but also for you and what you went through, which sounds like something like, thank you for sharing everything that was happening for you. I obviously had no idea that was going on, and I just want you to know I was loving you from afar while all that was happening, and it really feels sad for me when you go away and I don't hear from you, or you don't let me know what's going on with you. Like, it's not like you come back and everything's just back to normal. For me, there's been a big loss here and a big grief here and damage, and it's important for me just to let you know that. It doesn't change the fact that I love you and that I'm here to support you now and all of that, but it's important for me to say that for myself, obviously, in the time that it's appropriate with that relationship. So, okay, pile 3, let's pull some advice for you, and I'm not going to interpret this, I'm just going to read the card, and this is from the Oracle of the Shapeshifters. Okay, and we have number 16, the deep, dark sea mermaid finds solutions in the unknown places in the darkness. Okay, pile 3, that was your reading. I hope it resonated for you and it helped you in some way. Please leave me a like, comment, or subscribe. I'd love to hear about your experience with this reading if you're interested to share. If you want to be notified when I upload, which right now is 2 to 3 times a week, feel free to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you'll get those notifications. And private readings are open. There's info in the description box, and I hope to see you next time, pile 3. Hey Pile 4, if you picked all the coins, this will be your reading. Thank you so much for being here. Today we are asking the question, what's different? What's changed that this relationship or this situation is not the same anymore? So let's see what cards you have. And we have, ooh, Ace of Cups. Wow. So what has changed? This person, whether this is you or the other person or organization or group, their heart has blown wide open for you. What I'm really drawn to, which I've never noticed before, is there's this little, is this a pigeon with a tiny cracker or a bagel or something that is about to dip that into this coffee cup. Here, I'll get it a little closer so you can see, hopefully. And that's what I'm getting this person has done. Like they've just started to dip their toe into how much they actually feel for you. This is, as a tarot reader, feeling the vibe from this reading and from this card, it's totally overwhelming. What this person has started to experience is what's been going on all along. So the first example that's coming to mind, so for many of you, I'm getting many of you that are watching this are like, yeah, right, I haven't talked to that person in 10 years, or they act like they hate me, or they certainly don't behave as if they care about me at all or love me at all. But the example that's coming to my mind is with like car accidents, and I don't know if you've heard this statistic, but most people that have like spinal issues or like need chiropractic care or have like systemic or like chronic pain or spinal problems from car accidents, the symptoms start to show up 10 years after the accident, which PSA for any of you out there that have had an accident and you're wondering like, oh, did I get whiplash? Am I fine? Like go get some physical therapy and chiropractic because it just gets worse and worse over time. I'm actually dealing with something right now from like an accident 15 years ago or something. Anyway, that's what's happened with this person. And actually, the other thing I'm hearing for at least a few of you, there was a moment in time with this person where you said or did something and you almost walked away with a little swagger and you're like, well, I'll just wait for that bomb to explode, or I planted that seed, we'll see when it grows. Like you almost had some swagger to you when you said or did this thing because you knew how that was going to grow inside this person. Which does also make me wonder, like, do we have some intuitives or psychics in this pile? Because the whole vibe of that is very like, it doesn't have to be intuitive or psychic. You could just be someone who's very good with pattern recognition, which would be like especially, I'm thinking Myers-Briggs now, this would be like especially INTJ or any of the NTs actually, INFJ as well. But it's the ability to know that if I flick over this one domino, I know what's going to happen after the 104th domino gets knocked over. So you were able to kind of see that or know what was going to happen with that with this person. But anyway, back to the point, which is what's different, and that is that they love you. They bloody love you, I want to say. They are embarrassed about how long it's taken them to realize this and how it was true all along, almost from the very beginning. I'm almost getting like a love at first sight, but it's actually not sight for this person. So if that's another thing that trips you up with them, let me back up. You're very attractive. You're very beautiful, pile 4. Whatever gender you associate with, whatever age you are, whatever this person is, whether this is romantic or not romantic, you are very, very attractive, but this is not about your physical looks whatsoever. Because I think sometimes you're like, well, but they can't love me because I'm short and they're tall, or I'm young and they're old, or I'm Canadian, they're American. I don't know what your rationale is in your brain, but you have something in here where you're saying they can't love me because ... And by the way, whatever that thing is that you think your person wouldn't like about you, they actually do like that. It's actually their preferred, it's their preference. So if they're Americans, like they only want to date Canadians or, whatever category. Okay? But that's not the point for them. Like what they fell in love with is your vibe, pile 4. It's what's made it so difficult for them to figure out that this is love and to know that this is what they want, because they're like, is it a feeling? No. Is it something logical? No. Is it the way they talk? Is it the way other people feel about them? Is it their status? Is it their money? Is it their nationality? Is it their age? Is it no, 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 no. And this person has had to go through like the entire list of possibilities of what it is about you. And what they've come down to is, number one, it's everything, which is why we have the Ace of Cups. That's why we have all the coins here. It's everything about you. It's not just that you're smart, it's that you're smart and attractive. It's not just that you're smart and attractive, you're smart, attractive, and wise and accomplished, and you are independent. There's just, it's not just one thing about you, it's everything. But that's also why it's your vibe. It's your energy. I want to find a better word than energy. Hang on, I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to draw a card to describe this better because it feels very important. So when I'm saying vibe or energy, spirit, what is it you're trying to bring through in this reading? What's different about them, what they've realized it is about pile 4? What is it about pile 4? Oh my. Ooh, we have the devil making an appearance. Okay, possible interpretations. First thing that came to my mind is because you're a Capricorn. It's probably just a joke with me because I'm also a Capricorn. Bottom of the deck, we have 5 of Wands. Are you a fighter? Are you a little feisty, pile 4? Do you get in somebody's face if they don't act right or something like this? Okay, I'm going to look more closely at this. How to describe the vibe. It's like they feel connected to you, almost like you're both chained to this trash bin. Okay, so here's a few possible interpretations. Maybe the two of you have a similar situation in life. Maybe you're both, because we were just talking about this, maybe you're both INTJs. Maybe you are both neurodivergent. Maybe you are both from New York City. Maybe you are the same ethnic or racial group or age, or maybe you're both like very spiritual people and very corporate jobs. Like there's something about the two of you that's very like same that they haven't exactly seen in someone else. So this could also be if you resonate with the idea of like twin flames, like you're seeing yourself in someone else's body, or like two halves of the soul, or seeing you in someone of another gender, and like you see that person, you're like, oh, that's what I would be like in a different gender, something like that. And I think it's that it just doesn't ever go away with the Ace of Cups plus the Devil. Like this person, I think, has maybe, like many of us, fallen in love or fallen in lust many times in their life. And with you, it just never leaves them. It doesn't dissipate. And I am getting the vibe that for many of you, like maybe this person hasn't seen you in a very long time either. But even still, it's just like they feel as connected to you as ever. They're with somebody else and like your face flashes in their mind, or they look at somebody else and they just keep seeing you. And I could almost cry about this. Like this person just has no idea, is so over their head with this, like does not know what to do. I think for a long time also, part of why they've been so slow at realizing this is it felt so big and so overwhelming that they had just assumed it was toxic. Have you ever had that happen? Where like, oh, this can't be good? Because overwhelming love, like if that love goes deeper than what you've experienced before, it has to clear some of the crud out of the way. So whatever's in your heart chakra currently that's like garbage has to come out first for you to be able to feel it at that deeper level, at a more pure level. It also makes me think of exercise. Like if anybody's a runner, or if you're getting back into working out, you know that like that day where you get into the bottom of your lungs, where you breathe really hard and you're gonna have like that chest pain, like the deep like lung pain for a day or two, like that sucks, and it feels like this is bad for me, this is terrible, but actually it clears that part of you so that you're better able to perform an exercise from there on, you know? Okay, so we're answering the question here though, like what's different? This person is seeing you clearly. And I think that you understood this very quickly, very quickly. It's like you both had a similar experience where you felt the same feelings, but you've been feeling them a step at a time for however long you've known this person. And this person repressed it all in the beginning, and now it's like hitting them all right now. So like, let's take a moment of compassion for pile 4's person, because they are not okay. And like, I'm joking, but I'm kind of not joking. Like, can you imagine feeling everything that you felt and then realizing that you've acted a fool, or that you didn't treat somebody well, or just did not handle a situation correctly according to the space this person should have in your life? Like any of those situations, or all, this person's going through that. So for some of you, I want to mention, like, if this is not resonating immediately for today, like this could be the very near future or what's already happened. Like with tarot, you never quite know. I feel like there can be like a 6-month leeway forward or backwards. Like you just never know what timeline you're working with. So that I just want to mention that for those of you that are like, well, I don't know about that, but the other parts are resonating. Back to the like planting the seed or dropping a time bomb, like this is what will progress in this situation. You understand? So, of course you do. You get it. You get it. Pattern recognition, pile 4. Whew, I feel like I could go much deeper with this, but do I want to? I'm a little nervous. Anything else, Spirit, for pile 4 that they should know? 5 of Swords. Ooh. This card in this deck is a bunch of different signs. So I'm getting that this is saying, like, this person has received so many signs to be able to come to this. Maybe one of them was literally a heart in the sky or in the cloud. A specific message for a few of you. If this person has ever taken you to a museum, they think about that a lot. Or they would really love to take you to a museum. I am getting such a strong NT vibe from this reading. It's crazy. I don't know. I feel like museums can be an NT thing. If it's a good museum, that is. None of this like, well, I digress. So, or maybe this person like suggested a date to go to a museum, but maybe it never happened for some of you. Maybe that's one of the things they feel bad about. This person has a very strong ego with the 5 of Swords. It's like, they're like, how can I admit that I've always loved this person without looking any more like a foolish, and here we have the 7 of Swords, exactly what I was just saying, in judgment, without them judging me and telling me to take a hike and never come back, because that's what I would do if I were them, is what this person's thinking. And so for some of them, I'm getting that they're getting readings or meditating or doing a lot of journaling or art and thinking about you, and it's helping them process. So what's different though? But what would my pile 4 even notice that's different? We have 6 of Swords, 8 of Cups coming off. This person's making changes. It's not as smooth as they would like it to be, but they are all the things that have to happen underneath the surface before like a tiny little shoot comes up above the soil. all the work that's happening with those roots going down, that's happening right now for this person. They're about to make some big moves and show up to their life differently. And the whole point is to be able to align with you again. I wouldn't say this person's directly coming towards you yet. That's not the movement. The movement is, I want to, the next time I see pile 4 or meet pile 4 or anything that feels like that, I want to be open. I want to recognize it for what it is the first time right away. I'm going to make sure I'm in the right vibe for that. So they're getting themselves ready, pile 4. Very interesting. 10 of Pentacles on the back of the deck. Let's pull an advice card for you. I'm going to just read this and let it stand on its own. It'll be from the Oracle of the Shapeshifters. Let's see what card you get here. We have 2 coming out. Number 41, Mermaid in a Koi Pond. Rediscover your individuality, become the dragon. Oh, I really want to interpret that, but I won't. Yes, I will. I can break the rules. If you wonder if you'll be replaced, this person knows that you're one in a million, 1 in a trillion, and a billion on the planet, and it's impossible. There is no other you. 37, the fairy ring. New skills, advanced training, rapid improvements. Yep, really getting that. Okay, pile 4. Very interesting reading. I hope this resonated for you. Please leave me a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. I'd love to hear about your experience if you want to share. And I will see you in the next reading. Thanks for coming by.